friends and lovers.
And music.
Thank you for joining. Is the music repeating?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so unprofessional. Here, let me slowly fade it out, like super pro style there. That's why you should never use your studio equipment for things besides studio work. Folks, thank you for joining us. This is 5 minutes. 5 minutes with Robert and Amy, my favorite person in the world, especially this week.
Yeah, many sets of 5 minutes for you tonight.
And you, all of you good people, thank you for joining us. I see some of y'all, some of my favorite people are already in the chat. And that is cool. Thank you for joining us. I know last minute announcements, I think 20 minutes ago, we put the reminder posts up. Even though if you've got YouTube notifications turned on, you should have received it earlier today. Hopefully y'all are subscribed and all that good. Good stuff on this fine November 23rd, Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. Where are we at? It is the 327th day of the year. We are so deep into it. We have got so little left. There are only 32 days until Christmas. Cray, man. If you are in the United States or any place where you celebrate the United States holidays, 4 days until Thanksgiving. 4 days until Turkey Day. We did an early Thanksgiving with Great Lakes Objectivists. Glow Thanksgiving. Good to see Jennifer in the chat. Hi there. And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and Paul and Steve and Jim.
Paul. And who else? Oh, Steve-O. Cool. So yes, we did Thanksgiving once. We'll do it again with family as well. And that is why today's show, speaking of family, is a little rushed. Because I just got back to Studio Nasir from the home of my daughter. More on that in a minute. No, actually, I don't have much else as far as on this date. It's Miley Cyrus's birthday.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, I think it's also Hannah Montana's birthday, somehow and by coincidence.
Miley Cyrus. Okay.
Yeah. It's also Joe Sumner's birthday. I thought Joe Sumner. That sounds familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. That's because we don't think of Gordon Sumner. We think of Sting. So Sting's son's birthday is today. Happy birthday to him out in England. It's also National Espresso Day. Or Espresso Day for the Phonetically Challenged. I'm drinking, actually, I have to admit, I'm drinking hot chocolate because of the kind of day I have had, including skipping lunch and being really hungry. So I am into the hot chocolate with whipped cream on it and in the Dad Rocks mug, which is relevant, to why things are a little last minute. This week is amazing here at Camp Nasir. And the reason is it's anniversary week.
It is.
Mrs. Nasir and I have been married just shy of 25 years. It'll be 25 on 25 on the 25th of the month. And Paul is already singing in the year 2525. I think that's a little apocalyptic for the holiday we've got in mind, but hey, you do you. It's all good. And yeah, we've been married 25 years, and we were together 6 years before that, so it's been... what a long, wonderful trip it's been.
Yes.
And will be. And I know, Amy, you were kind of already in the anniversary mood there with pictures. And
I have some show and tell for tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like you've got a lot of pictures.
Well, some. Not actually, we got more that they're somewhere stored somewhere.
All righty then. Well, cool. I'm just looking... in the chat here, and Jennifer's already talking. Rush, 2112 would be, well, and Rush is coming. Rush is back. And Jennifer knows this, and some of you may have run into the same thing. They announced a handful of concerts in just a few select cities, and Jennifer got our tickets.
Yay, Jennifer!
We're going, and I think we've already got hotel reservations. This is, a year away. Well, next August. At the time, it was almost a year away. I was like, that is so cool. And, price no object, spent a lot of money. And it turns out, this small tour of select cities went so well that Rush has added on a whole bunch of other cities, a regular tour, a whole multi-city tour. And they're even coming to Motown. They're coming to Michigan, where Studio Nasir broadcasts from over the airwaves. So I guess we could have waited and saw them in Southeast Michigan.
No. We could not have waited. We couldn't wait because you wouldn't know, and you can't take the chance of missing out on this. That's right.
No, I have no regrets.
Yeah, no. I mean, we got them locked in. We got the tickets.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, in Cleveland?
Yeah.
I believe, yep. So it's not that far away. Or was it
Cincinnati?
No, I think it was Cleveland.
It was Cleveland, yeah.
Yep. And, it's going to be a very special event. I mean, it's going to be, I think, maybe second to the last show that they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be kind of important, I think. And I think it's wonderful. So we get to go out of town.
Yeah.
And we get to see them. It's going to be a big to-do. And if we were just going there for Detroit, if we were lame to wait to see if they added on more concerts, first of all, we would be like... I don't know.
Anxious beyond belief.
I mean, that would be low standards. But Jennifer, she got us tickets to Cleveland. Next September.
Zero regrets. No, the only thing that might happen is we might end up seeing them twice.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with tickets in Motown. So now I didn't mean to get so much into that, but the one other time we mentioned this on the show here, some folks were critical of Rush for touring with anybody but the late Neil Peart. Now, I think it would be kind of morbid if they toured with the late Neil Peart, but some people thought, well, no Neil, no Rush. And we have Christopher in the chat who says it's Ush. He did say just kidding and gave us a smiley face, so it's going to be damn good. I would see them with any competent drummer.
Yeah.
Because, and I said this before, my criterion for them touring is that they love it. If they love it, I'm going to love it. It's irrelevant to me, not irrelevant, but because I know they're high standards, but it's irrelevant to me that nobody can do what Neil Peart could do. It's irrelevant. If they have a great time, I'm going to have a great time.
Yes.
When I go to see musicians, we just saw the English Beat, or as some of you in England call them, the Beat. And they have a great time, and they played music well too. But the point is, we've seen musicians who played the music really well and didn't seem to be enjoying themselves, and we don't enjoy that. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Jennifer said, "Oh, not that Rush." What were we talking about? Limbaugh? What? Or are we talking about the song? Or?
I don't know. Yeah, no, that's going to be great.
Mark Weinberg is available. Last I checked, he was released from Slipknot a bit ago. I don't follow Slipknot, so I don't know who Mark Weinberg is. I will just have to take your word for that. But I think they've got the issue settled. I think things are handled.
Well, I mean, if he joined the band, Alex and Getty would have to wear those, like the horrible monster skeletal makeup that Slipknot does. I think.
Or not. I mean,
that'd be fun if Rush went goth or something.
They could do the 2-drummer attack. That's always an option. You can do the Allman Brothers thing where you actually have 2 full-time drummers.
Yeah.
A very cool idea. Genesis did that. Not often, but they had a touring drummer. In fact, one year, one of the early years after Peter Gabriel left, Bill Bruford was the touring drummer for Genesis. But Phil Collins would occasionally go back to the kit and play, despite then becoming their lead vocalist. So very, very cool.
Yeah, Ray says that Slipknot, they wear masks. Okay. So I can't imagine.
Well, but Weinberg doesn't have to do that if he joined Rush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their 2112 attire was pretty fantastic. I liked it. I actually had I don't know if you would call it a cape or whatever, back in the day.
Well, with those flared sleeves.
Yeah, with the big flared sleeves.
Psychedelic.
Yeah, very Rush, very, or Rick Wakeman, very, very 70s prog rock. And I'm good with that. Silk robes, yes, Jennifer, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
So, that is on the agenda. John Anderson's on the agenda for next year, too, and we will be going to see The Wedding Present as well.
The Wedding present. We're going to go see the wedding present.
Some of you may not know, but that is the name of a band. It's not a gift that's laying on a table.
It's not even an anniversary present, but no, the wedding present is a band from England. One of my favorite bands, one of my top favorite bands. And not only did they come last year to Cleveland, they're coming again. So we're going. I think it's in March or May or something like that.
Right.
And or April. I don't know, but it's going to be so great.
Yep.
If you don't know the wedding present, if you like really, really fast kind of 80s alternative, but it's not fast in the sense of it being hardcore punk rock or metal or thrash or anything like that. It's kind of jangle pop, you might be able to express it as, but it's very wonderful. It's so good, and it's so energetic.
Yes. So, what are we watching this week? What has captured our attention? It's really that kind of day. The one thing I spent more time on, I think, than any other distraction, and it's a wonderful distraction, is the analogs. And the analogs are a Beatles cover band. They are Norwegian.
Oh.
Actually, they just brought in a member who is British, but they're primarily a Norwegian band. So if you watch interviews with them, they often need a translation. This is the world's greatest Beatles tribute band, or I should say cover band. They don't dress up as the Beatles, and they don't act like the Beatles, but they do everything else so authentically. It's jaw-dropping. It's unbelievable. If you've never heard of them, look up the analogs. I'll add it to the show notes. The show notes haven't been posted yet, so some of you may have noticed just the short description is in YouTube. I will fix that after the show. Again, when I tell the story of why we're running late, well, we started on time, but why everything else is running late. The analogs is spelled European style because they're Norwegian, so it's ANALOGUES. The analogs. And again, they don't act like the Beatles. They don't wear the Beatles clothes or costumes, Sgt. Pepper, or anything like that.
Yeah. But
they play the Beatles songs with such authenticity and respect.
Nice.
And on the actual instruments, you can buy a Nord 6, an expensive keyboard, and make it sound like a harpsichord. Make it sound like an upright piano, make it sound like a grand piano, make it sound like a cheap Vox organ. But they actually have a cheap Vox organ and a harmonium and a harpsichord and all of the instruments. And they do the same thing with their amplification. The guitar tones are just outstanding and very close to the records. And the project started because the Beatles stopped touring in 1966. Some of you will know this. They did their last concert, and they realized, if you've seen the Candlestick Park video or any other live videos after Beatlemania took hold, you could hardly hear what they were doing. They couldn't hear what they were doing on stage. It was all just screaming. It was all just people screaming all the way through the songs. And they weren't enjoying it, and they just decided they weren't going to tour anymore. Mm. And the analogs kind of picked it up where the Beatles left off, and they tour those latter 5, 6, 7 albums. That is what I've been enjoying this week. And if it sounds like, I don't know, Robert just spent like 3 minutes talking about this, they really are that good. If you like Beatles music, or just if you like music at all and want to see people who love what they do, look up the analogs online. Other than that, the only other thing I've got this week as far as what I have enjoyed, I've enjoyed a lot of things, but, by the way, speaking of this week, we are up against Dan Norton tonight.
Oh, okay.
He was going to do a show starting this afternoon, and he didn't know when he was going to start. He said it would, might be later than expected. And it did start later, and so he's still doing, well, it could have been earlier, and Dan will do a show for 5, 6, 7 hours. So I guess we're up against him. We are competing, and that's why I want to say thank you, double thank you to those of you who are watching, who might have been watching that show. There's only a few of our regulars who are also regular Dan Norton watchers.
Knowing Dan, he'll go a lot longer than we do.
That's true. We could wrap up after 5 minutes, and he will still, well,
yeah,
or so, and he will still be going. So good point. People may break away from him, come to us, and then go back. It's all good. But the other thing that I've enjoyed this week is, and I'm sure I've recommended these to you before, this is a Substack. Essays by Carrie-Ann Biondi. She calls them Weekly Wonderings. If you want to look for that before I get all of the notes posted, just look up Weekly Wonderings by Carrie-Ann Biondi on Substack. And this week, her essay, her discussion is about, I love this, tales of a formerly ungracious gift receiver.
Yeah. I read that. That was very nice.
And you got to take all four of those words into account to figure out where she's going with this. Formerly ungracious gift receiver. And I love it because I totally know the feeling. Oh, you shouldn't have, or oh, it's awkward, or oh, well, here, I'm just going to read the very beginning of her essay. She writes, my friend Peter San Andre recently wrote a piece for his Beautiful Wisdom Substack titled Giving and Receiving. I commented briefly on his post that I have struggled with receiving, so much so that I was gently called out about 15 years ago for being an ungracious gift receiver. I was told, you know how wonderful you feel when you give something to someone and that person really appreciates it? Well, I would love for you to give me that same opportunity, unquote. And then she goes on, I was thunderstruck that my resistance to receiving was robbing others of something that I personally found meaningful. Talk about being a hypocrite. I felt ashamed of my ungracious behavior. And she goes on, and you should read the post, but I love that. And it kind of hit home for me this week because I have to say, Amy, I don't have any grand plans for our 25th.
Well, I do.
We have done some...
well, not grand.
We have done some amazing things on our wedding anniversaries.
Yeah.
It might be hard to top our 21st wedding anniversary, where we actually rented out the chapel we were married in, renewed our vows in the Martha Mary Chapel in Greenfield Village, and had a club party afterwards, rented out a hall, and had a hall party. Yeah. Including friends and family and karaoke and rock and roll and oyster bar and all sorts of fun things. But yeah, this week we don't have quite as much planned. Amy, you've sent me a lot of suggestions for not just our anniversary, but for the week. So it's going to be a very good week.
Yes. And, I have a whole list of things and places to go. I've made a couple of reservations and that are more Christmas themed than anniversary themed. Given the time of year, that happens a lot. So I just kind of wanted to kind of kickstart this early and just try to, it's sort of like, do you remember in the pandemic so Robert and I went to the Detroit Institute of Arts, which, by the way, in Detroit, there is an Institute of Arts. It's an art museum. It's grand. It's beautiful. It's big. It's luscious. There's marble everywhere. It's a really exceptional art museum. Yeah, they don't have a lot of Bouguereau, but they do have Bouguereau. And they don't have a lot of Van Gogh, but they have Van Gogh. They've got some extraordinary things to see. They have a lot of paintings from the Dutch masters, and they're just lovely. But we went during the pandemic. We thought we would stop in to the modern art section. You know, if you go into a modern art section, you're going to see all sorts of craziness, junk, materials, pieces of things just splattered, but there was a part or some sections of the modern art area that was very, very colorful. And we've learned to have a very light attitude about modern art. At least when we go to a museum that has it. You can have great fun with that if you don't take it seriously. And so when we were basically sensory deprived during the pandemic, not a lot of people, not a lot of places, not a lot of things to see. And going into the modern art section, it was actually really, really fun. And it was big and bold, and there were so many colors. And it was kind of like, if you're a baby and you have all this sensory stuff coming at you and it's all a blur. It's kind of how it was. But it was... It was fun.
If you've read The Romantic Manifesto by Ayn Rand, and I suspect most of you have, modern art doesn't do what art does. And when it does, it's usually a negative thing in terms of showing you a sense of life, a worldview that you don't necessarily want to see. Now, some people, and if this is you, they do find it interesting, cathartic. They identify with it at least in some way. You know, and if you do, more power to you. But personally, and I treat it more like the design arts in that sometimes it's decorative.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just funny. It's just silly. And yeah, sometimes it's really nihilistic and you can't ignore that even to laugh at it.
Yeah.
But most of it you can if you come in with the right attitude. Tom Harrison says, Here Comes the Sun is my favorite. That's one of my pocket songs.
Yes, you can play that anytime.
I've learned to have pocket songs because if you play guitar even a little bit, people will say, oh, you play guitar, play something. And a lot of us who are, more at the amateur, a little less at the professional level, would sometimes, since you asked me to do that, suddenly my mind went blank and I can't remember a single song I know how to play. So Here Comes the Sun is one of my favorite ones. It does require that you have a capo handy and capoed real high, 7th fret. I mean, I've played it with cowboy chords without a capo, and you can sing along with it, but it just doesn't sound like the same song.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Here Comes the Sun is your favorite.
Yeah, let me ask you, did the Beatles, or I don't know, maybe Paul McCartney, did he play it on the 7th fret with the capo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't Paul. He played bass on that. George Harrison wrote it and played it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Capo, 7th fret.
Must give George Harrison credit for all he did.
Oh, yeah. It was late in getting his due, but he got it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, one of those videos by the Analogs, had Patty Boyd was one of the people that was being interviewed. Mm-hmm. The ex-wife of George Harrison, ex-wife of Eric Clapton.
The world's ex-wife.
Tells the story about how Eric Clapton came to play the guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which is an interesting story and another one of my favorite Beatles tunes. And one that I have covered before.
Yeah, Apollo in the chat says, sensory deprivation, the only thing that can make an objectivist like modern art. Very funny.
Whatever it takes. On the Facebook side, Narendra says, lines are expressive, very. He goes on to say in his usual style here, art is unknown. Even music on the higher levels, more to explore for humans. Modern art is pretentious. But you're right, there is no end to what we can tap into for art. And it's one of the great things about it. When I was kind of learning rock and roll songs, you start seeing what they have in common and you start thinking, is there really any more music to write?
Oh, of course there is.
Is there anything that hasn't been said 1,000 times? Any chord sequence that hasn't been used 1,000 times? But it turns out, no, turn on the radio. Well, I don't know about the radio these days. Turn on the internet. Turn on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon. Does anybody use Amazon Music? They keep trying to sell me that. The amazing thing is people are still writing great music. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're over 35, you may fall into the trap of thinking nobody writes great music anymore. And I sometimes feel that too, even though I'm a little older than 35. But there really is great music out there today. And it's fun because, I will listen to, we use Sirius satellite radio in the car. And you bring up the post-2000 channels and think, they didn't really like anything after 2000. And then they play these great songs. Like, oh my God, there was such great music. What did I hear that was from around that time? Unwritten, Natasha Bedingfield.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Wonderful stuff. Yeah. Who's the guy's name? Oh, gosh. It was the, why my memory is going. He's the one who sang Your Body's a Wonderland.
Yeah, John Mayer.
Yeah, he was really, really good when he first came out. And
what's really weird about John Mayer, though, is he wrote all those pop songs and he got on the radio.
Yeah.
He is an unbelievably good guitar player.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, he's got that pop song voice, real romantic songs, but no, he's an amazing guitar player. And, they picked him to join the Grateful Dead.
Yes.
When Jerry Garcia passed away. What? John Mayer, Your Body is a Wonderland. He's actually an incredible guitarist.
That's right.
So, yeah, there is great music out there. And, it's hard for me to even know half of, or even a quarter of the bands in the top 20 right now. But I do know that they are making great music. Not all of it. Some of it's rap, and some of it's great. So, yes, I agree with Narendra that there's no limit in the arts. He says, Robert, it is the way you sing, even how you listen. Well, that's true. Music is extremely personal. And what I was doing before the show is I was hauling boxes out of a U-Haul truck.
Uh-huh.
And carrying them into my daughter's new house. She just moved into a new house this weekend. And that's why, again, everything was very rushed and very little prep for the show. And it was hard. I hate moving. I hate the process of moving. I hate moving the boxes. It's great exercise, but it's just, and my daughter has a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister, who's moving into the same house with her, has a cat. And they have a dog who's very sweet, but I am allergic to cats.
Yes.
So that made the process extra challenging. So what did I do? Well, we all of us in the team, the family, the friends who were helping out, we're making a lot of wisecracks, a lot of jokes. But also, when I was up in the U-Haul truck handing people boxes, I was singing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, very, very boldly and dramatically, and sometimes maybe a little bit exaggerated.
Yes.
Song has so many, I was going to say therapeutic, but that's not the right word, so many fun purposes. And I highly encourage people who don't sing to sing. Yeah.
Oh, Tom asks, is your back okay after all those boxes?
It feels great right now. I feel like I got an outstanding workout, but it's a good question because maybe tonight, I had some shoulder issues earlier this week. We'll see if that returns. Chris McGraw's in the chat on Facebook, and he says, I like a lot of stuff by MC Escher, but modern art is almost never that clever anymore. Yeah, where are the MC Eschers or even, now I'm having a hard time remembering the people who did really quirky things or who kind of, were half art and half design.
I want to say like Magritte.
Oh, yeah, like Renee, I don't think it's pronounced Renee, but Renee Magritte. I don't think it's pronounced Renee, but it's spelled Renee.
Renee.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Rennie.
Yeah, the guy with the apple in front of the guy with the bowler hat.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And to me, again, that's as much graphic design as it is art. And, to intentionally to get not a shock value, but a particular reaction out of people. One of the early Yes videos for No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Required. Mm-hmm. Quite a song name, and that was actually a cover. They didn't write that one. But it ends with a guy in a bowler hat walking with the apple in front of his head. Yes, the modern artists like that who are just going for a reaction, but doing it with some artistic ability. I can see why some people like that. I can see why it has an impact. Chris agrees. John Mayer is a phenomenal musician. He's a Berkeley School of Music graduate. Cool. And that doesn't surprise me. I may have actually heard that before. Yeah, he's extraordinary. Even if his stuff is not your stuff, although his stuff might be your stuff if you listen to different stuff of his stuff. For example, his John Mayer trio. He got together and did a trio a la Jimi Hendrix, just, bass player, drummer, and him. And just great stuff. Great stuff.
All right. So thanks to all of those people who are in the chat who wished us a happy anniversary. Again, this is our 25th anniversary coming up in just a couple of days on the 25th of this month.
Now, if you want to know how to do that, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to copyright that and sell it as a quote. No, I'm not really.
You're going to bottle it and sell it.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you back to our Secrets of a Successful Marriage episodes, which I'll have to add to the show notes now. which we don't do around around anniversary time. We do around Valentine's Day. But yeah, secrets of a successful marriage, and I've outraged a few people with those, but most people agree with the tips that I offer.
Yeah, so we have a lot of things for show and tell. And of course, you're welcome to ask us anything, just about anything, in the chat. And so we've been together really as of December 2nd. It'll be 31 years.
Date anniversary?
Yeah, our date anniversary. So yeah, we waited about 6 years before we got married. Really 5 years before the proposal, I should say. And
The Proposal.
The Proposal.
Ooh, sounds like that weird movie that I never saw.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. So back in the days, so we got married in 2000, and that was kind of at the crux of, I think, the next year or something like that. It was funny. Robert and I.
What did we do?
We would often do this. We would give each other the same gift.
That did happen several times.
For Christmas time.
I'm sure at least once we gave each other the same card, too.
Yeah, we did. And maybe not exactly like, no, we did actually. Yeah, so one time, so I don't know if it was 2001 or 2002 or somewhere around there. This is at the cusp of going from 35 millimeter photography to digital cameras. And when digital cameras came out, everyone was just, so Robert and I, we each gave each other the Fuji digital camera, like the same thing exactly for Christmas.
Did we return one of them? I don't remember us holding on to two of those.
No, I think we probably returned one of them, but
yeah.
So back in 2002, I put this together. This is a photo album for all of you who might not be familiar. There's photos in this album,
well,
like paper photos, like paper photos and things.
Ooh,
and
don't try that.
Oh. No, there's no nudity in here. But anyway, yeah, paper photos of all of these photos. And I've actually taken some out, but it's really fun. I inscribed in the beginning.
We'll have to snap or scan a few of those and post them.
Yeah. So I took some out. We can scan these ones for later. It says, so I inscribed this, and it says 6 years of photographs from December 1994 to December 2000 to celebrate our 8th anniversary of lovingness and our 2nd anniversary of wedded lovingness on this day, December 2nd, 2002. Yeah.
So the 8th date anniversary.
12/02/02.
A lot of twos.
Yeah. Maybe we should have been a February 2nd. And then I said, my darling Robert, these memories make me appreciate all the happiness we've created with each other and makes me eager for more happiness in our future.
Did you get more happiness in your future?
Yeah, I did.
It did work out.
It did work out.
Good.
As you are my husband, I am your wife, forever in honesty, lovingness, and pride. Yours in eternal amour, Amy. XOXOXOX. So anyway, I looked through all of this, and it was a lot of fun. This, I believe, is a. You're not going to be able to see it. We'll scan it. It's a business card. So way back when, this was 1999, there were these business card business card makers, and you could get, a few business cards or whatever for $5 or whatever it was. And, in case you were there for business and you maybe left your business cards and you needed to put something together really quick. And so this was in at the Renaissance Center. At the Renaissance Center in Detroit, Michigan, and that's actually where we declared our love for each other, and we actually said "I love you" to each other the first time. And it says, "I love you, Amy. Will you marry me?" "Yes, Robert, I will." That's what it says on the business card. August 30th, 1999. The Renaissance Center says right there. That's a lot of fun. And then we've got this picture here. Oh, this is so funny. I've got to scan this. This is me tied to a tree in Greenfield Village. And so this is symbolic of my entire life. Tied to a tree in Greenfield Village. Yeah. There's a picture here of all of us at Sue Parker's house. So back in the late 1990s, Sue Parker was an objectivist. I don't even remember all the people's names in here. Oh gosh, do you remember anybody? There's of course Sue and Scott and me and you and a guy named Rich Leck who unfortunately passed away. Lovely guy. And another guy. I don't know. Do you remember any of the names here?
No, I'd have to look through somewhere. That's Ron Corey.
Oh yeah, Ron Corey.
I'd have to. Yeah, it would take some work to remember.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then, this is when we went to Chicago.
Oh, this just started playing this slideshow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I had been setting up to be able to do that, and I didn't realize it was actually going to start playing.
Oh, okay. There's another picture here that says, on the marquee, Ayn Rand, A Sense of Life. And that's when we went to Chicago to see the Ayn Rand Sense of Life documentary when it first came out. There's, and what I'm saying here is not what's showing on the screen here. What you're seeing on the screen is our honeymoon in Jamaica.
Yeah, I didn't have time to set up any photographs, but of course I have all of this in a folder on my computer, so it was easy to call it up. That's why I wish I had prepared for the things that you are showing. I mean, you could try holding them up to the camera.
No. So anyway,
for anybody watching these photographs, these are all from our honeymoon.
Yeah. So you'll see if you go on. We'll post them on the either our walls or 5 Minutes with Robert and Amy Nasir Facebook page later on. What I'm saying here, but anyway, I found all these images of yeah. Gosh, these are a lot of photos there, Robert. Yeah. So you'll see we went on. Okay, there you go. We went on a honeymoon in Jamaica. All right. Yes. It's very sweet.
Yeah, I think we spent as much on our honeymoon as we did on our wedding.
So not only do we have this photo album, we have this box of photos, and it's really, really cool. There's a picture of me and Robert at our wedding here, and these are it's a show and tell keepsake here, because you're not going to be able to really see these, but you can kind of. They have 5 of these little flip books in them, and this is from our wedding. And again, this is 35 millimeter photography. Unfortunately, this was at the cusp of that turn to the digital age.
Film photography?
Film photography.
Wow.
Actual photos that are paper. Glossy photos. Yeah, so this covers our wedding and also going to Jamaica. So some of those pictures that you saw are actually in this box as well. There's this framed picture of us. This is at the Martha Mary Chapel. That's actually on our wedding. And this was part of the photography afterwards, when everybody had to, everybody left, and the photographer and the wedding party and the couple were there to do all their photography, as one does still nowadays. So that was up at the Martha Mary Chapel in Greenfield Village. And this is another wedding photo. And we have a whole wedding photo book of all of our photography. And then this is a lot of fun. This you won't be able to see, but we'll try to scan this. In this kind of shadow box here is an original wedding invitation for our wedding. And it's got kind of a vellum overlay with all the information and all the writing. And underneath the vellum, you'll be able to see Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, because that was sort of our theme. We had a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers theme for our wedding. Although we didn't do any tap dancing, we did do a choreographed East Coast swing dance. And finally in my show and tell here, and we have a lot more to show, but this I got, when did I get this? For 20 years. So it says, Philosophers in Love for 20 years, Amy and Robert, And this is the sky over Greenfield Village on November 25th, 2000. So the night of our wedding, is what the sky or the what the stars would have looked like.
Yeah, I remember. I looked up and it looked just like that.
Except that it was raining sleet that night,
Yeah,
and
you
really couldn't see anything. But if you didn't have clouds in your way, you'd be able to see this. So anyway, Philosophers in Love is a theme for us, as you might imagine. And we have a business card created from that same kiosk that said Philosophers in Love. Yeah, so...
So Ian says, our date anniversary is Halloween 1999. That may be better than ours. Thanksgiving is a great time to have a wedding anniversary, but Ian's date anniversary is Halloween 1999. That's pretty damn cool. Ian also asks, do you have some albums that do have nudity?
No.
That seems like a silly question. Does anybody not? Oh, wait, you're talking about our nudity. Oh, well, we'll cover that. We'll do a whole show on that, separate show on that topic.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah, we will leave that there. Right. This is not the right evening for the naked truth.
When I'm 80 and you're 90, we can talk about how we were once naked. And it'll be really weird.
That would be it's just funny that nobody wants to think of, for example, their parents that way, which is good. I think that's an appropriate...
Or their grandparents.
You might be talking about record albums. You have some albums that do have nudity. For example, the cover of the Yes album, Time and a Word, has nudity on it. So, does Going for the One.
Going for the One.
Going for the One.
It's the bare bottom guy.
Yeah, it's not full frontal. It's full... What's the opposite of frontal? Rear?
Rear?
What's the opposite of frontal? Tell us in the chat out there. Rear nudity.
We don't have a lot of bikini photos, no. And
well, your bikini photo's great. Folks may have caught that in the slideshow there. If you missed it, you're out of luck.
So you guys aren't subscribed to Robert's OnlyFans? Ha ha ha.
What do you mean? I don't have to subscribe. Are you kidding? I have access to the parts you don't get to see even with your... Oh, wait. I mean, no, I don't have an OnlyFans at all. No, I don't.
Oh, yes. You know, for those who were never married, you're missing out. I'll just say that.
Christopher Smith says, modern art walks beside me. That's funny, actually. I tried to do a cover of Modern Love, and I just couldn't get the feel. It's pretty hard to match Bowie. That's tough, especially for that period. Working with Stevie Ray Vaughan, that was too damn cool.
Yeah. So, I don't know if 35. I guess 35 millimeter film is available. If you really want that.
Oh yeah, I think people have brought back 110 film. Just about everything gets brought back, and not cheaply. But for example, you can still get Polaroid film. I know they were doing 600, and I think the SX70 film as well. Cost twice as much as it used to, and small suppliers. But yes, I'm sure that you can still get it. There are people still have black rooms in their houses and use them.
Yeah.
So very, very good.
Yeah, someone is inquiring about your Ron Brooks OnlyFans account. You're just going to have to ask him.
I can't even.
Anyway, so yes. Let's see here. All right. That's basically the end of my show and tell. I mean, so November 25th, 2000, it was dark and cold and rainy. And basically what we did for our wedding, listen up, we had our dinner like around, 6:30 or something.
Oh, it was extremely unorthodox, yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. And so we saw each other before the wedding, but we weren't actually in our wedding attire. So we were wearing like black and burgundy. I had a dress. You had
a suit.
Like you had a suit. So you had a regular
necktie.
cut suit
As opposed to, for example, wearing a tuxedo at one's wedding.
with tails.
Which I did actually do, but after dinner, we changed into our formal wear.
Yeah, so you had top hat and tails. So you had like basically white, black, and silver on,
It
and
was
then I
very
had
unusual.
a white dress. And,
Yeah, we broke the reception up. We had dinner, then the wedding, then we went back for dancing and dessert and drinks. And
yes.
yeah,
There's a particular dress that Ginger Rogers wore, I believe, in Swing Time at the very end. Very not quite a wedding dress, but it was white that I wore. But what she, it's black and white, so you really can't tell exactly the color. But it looks like she's wearing a white or silver dress, and it's very minimal. But the way that when she turns and the way that when the dress flares out, it flares out in such a beautiful way. I mean, it's a great dancer's dress that she wore. So I found a dress that was similar in that way. So when I twirled, it flared out and it was really lovely. So it wasn't like a big, giant, tulle infested wedding dress, with, like a big bell. It wasn't a bell wedding dress, which are nice, but, it wasn't for me. And we did some of the things that were different. Oh, so we had a Jewish humanist, minister lady named Marion, and so she married us at the Martha Mary Chapel.
Yeah, see, a humanist wedding, except we wrote our own vows in most of the ceremony.
Yeah, and she was quite familiar with Ayn Rand, and she was very positive about our vows, and it was really, really nice. So what else? I basically had 10 notes, like 10 pages of notes for the one day, because I planned the entire wedding. And it was the first wedding that I ever attended. I had not attended a wedding before my own wedding. And so I just winged it, and it all came together, and I'm really glad it did.
I had a little bit of wedding experience. Did we mention somebody named Scott?
Yeah.
In what context?
The picture. He was in the Sue Parker picture.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what's going on in the chat when Ray said, not the infamous Scott, I hope. No, this is decades before Scott was born. Assuming that he's only 12 years old, because that's kind of how he acts. Not to pick on Scott. He's on his own journey.
He's on his own journey.
And it seems to be in a handbasket. And, yeah. Ian said he has worked in film labs. Very, very cool. I worked at 2 different film development places. No idea where you would even get film developed today. I assume there are still mail-in services like there used to be.
Yeah.
Very good. Chris Smith says, my bikini videos are troubling. Why does this not surprise me? Well, other than the fact that they exist. Apparently, 35 millimeter film is still available at Walmart, says Greg, among other venues. Yeah, again, everything old is new again. On the other hand, Jason Adams says a Super 8 VHS head cleaner is not cheap. $50 plus. I'm sure I've got, head cleaners from VCRs laying around. I don't know if I have a Betamax one, but I'm sure I've got VHS.
But how old are the head cleaners, though? I mean, are they like...
That's true. Are they trustworthy after
30 years
being
old?
in storage for 30 years? Yeah. Well, I do have a VHS player that I used as recently as 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes.
Because it gave me an easy way, because it also had a DVD player and an HDMI port.
Yeah.
Which meant I could play videotapes and capture them into a computer very easily. So yeah, a lot of that old stuff still works. Greg Lewis says, Scott's into mining, handbasket reference.
I just wrote it in there. Hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Going to hell in a handbasket. If you've ever heard of that. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't really heard from Scott lately. He seems like he's been banned now everywhere. They banned him on the Capitalist Corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yaron banned him finally after a long, long time. And I assume him and his partner in crime are still out there doing their fanboy thing, the Ayn Rand fanboys, goofy. Anyway, without letting myself get distracted by all of that, Christopher Smith says the Fred Astaire Ginger Rogers theme is a nice idea. It was indeed, and some of our favorite films.
Yeah.
It's those, especially those early films, Swing Time, The Gay Divorcee.
Top Hat.
Top Hat is amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
If you haven't seen Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers films, you have got a treat waiting for you.
There's a song from the Swing Time movie that Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers sings together, and it is called Pick Yourself Up. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again.
Yep.
And I could probably sing the whole song, but it's a song that
And
really
do half the dance.
Really helped me get through a tough time when I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And when I was 19. Oh yeah, it was a song that really helped me keep my benevolent sense of life and not give up on the world, and to just keep my eye on the prize while I got out of a really bad situation.
And I don't understand Jim Ashley's latest comment. He's once again bringing up his disappointment in my burlesque skills. I think it's got to be a reference to something, because this has been a running joke now. It must go back to our earlier drunken podcasting episodes.
That's when it started.
Yeah.
That's when the shenanigans started.
And we're overdue. We haven't done one of those in a couple of years.
Well, I'm not drinking.
Oh, that's right. You're not drinking right now. Well, if you ever start again.
If I ever start again. If I ever start my drinking problem again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Narendra said, Scott and William were encouraged by the Atlas Society. They would be major advisors of Trump and the next. It's
Whatever.
It is what it is. Actually, it might not even be what it is. Greg is saying his handbasket reference to being lowered was apparently they would lower some miners when they didn't have elevators, I guess. They would lower them by hand in baskets down the mine shafts to set explosives, which could have deadly consequences. Can you imagine being lowered into a mine shaft in a basket to set explosives, knowing that once you set the I assume they were on fuses, or maybe they were remote fuses otherwise.
I don't know.
You're not only setting an explosive, you're now counting on the folks up top pulling you up before the explosive goes off.
Oh.
And, it's not a question of trust. What if they just weren't up to the task of raising you up, or, somebody tripped, or... that's a heck of a gig. I hope those people got paid damn well.
Yeah. I mean, people risk their lives for industry and building bridges and building buildings and just amazing stuff. I mean, they had courage, so much more so than they do now, unfortunately. But I think maybe now we have a little bit better understanding of what's realistically possible and not mortally dangerous.
So for great older tunes, Jason Adams is recommending Well Did You Ever? Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra.
I've never heard of this.
Apparently from the film High Society. Have we ever seen the film High Society?
Maybe not.
We need to add that to our list. Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra, how bad can it be? Good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So let's see. Back to the story of our wedding. So it was... So we were having our reception at the Dearborn Inn, which is the very first human historical first airport hotel. So where the Ford Proving Grounds is now in Dearborn, that was one of the very first, not the first airport, but one of the very first airports that Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, the Orville Wright, all used. A lot of people used it as an airport.
And it seems obvious that all airports would have hotels nearby, because nowadays they do. But there was a time when there weren't that many airplanes. There weren't that many airports.
Yes. So there was enough airplane traffic to come into this to actually set up an airport hotel and it was called the Dearborn Inn. It's still called
flying in to see Henry Ford.
Yeah, the Dearborn Inn. That was constructed by Albert Kahn. I think Etzel Ford had a good deal to do with the building of it. And so anyway, we had a reception there. We had dinner first. We were wearing black and burgundy. And then we bussed everybody over across the street to Martha Mary Chapel in Greenfield Village for the ceremony. And Robert and I changed our attire, and then we had the ceremony. It was really lovely. We had some elements of the ceremony that were very different. There was the kissing rose ceremony. This is this is a long story. But we each kissed a red rose. A red rose was something that had a lot to do with our courtship. And anyway, we did that. We had the exchange of, get this, tell me if this isn't the most objectivist thing you've ever heard in your entire life. But I had the idea of putting together these bracelets, these identity bracelets.
Do people still know what identity bracelets are?
Yeah, they think they do. So in other words, you got a bracelet with your name and maybe say like a life alert bracelet or like a bracelet that talks about who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, we used to just get them because they were cool. Just a bracelet with something written on it, usually your name.
If you're doing something dangerous and you might be found somewhere else, people can easily identify your body. No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Actually, I have one like that. I use it for bike riding when I'm not carrying a wallet.
So I'm sure they still have them out there, but you can get these identity bracelets that are metal, engraved.
Totally metal.
Totally metal. And so we did that. I did that. So I designed these identity bracelets. And each identity bracelet had the phrase, A is A. Tell me that isn't the most objectivist thing you've ever heard of.
It's a law of identity bracelet.
Law of identity bracelet. Anyway, so we exchanged those, and then we exchanged rings. And I think, and Diana was our maiden of honor. And
my daughter.
And
we just moved into a new house this weekend.
So
with help from her father.
We gave her like a little necklace that had like a pendant that symbolized kind of a new family kind of thing, or creating a new family. So I had known her since she was 7 and she was 12 at the time. So it was nice. It was nice to have her in the ceremony. And at the very end, after, I now pronounce you man and wife and all of that, Robert and I took each other's hands and we spun around. So let's see here. This is sort of like not the action shot, but this is sort of like what we were sort of doing in this picture here. So we took each other's hands and we spun around. Used each other as counterweights. And anyway, so we did that. And I had put together these like little cones, like these little lace doily cones with these pretty red ribbons on them. And I put real red rose petals in each cone. So everybody had a cone. And after we came back down the aisle, all of these red rose petals were thrown into the air, and it was really, really magical and really lovely. And my flower bouquet was white astralmeria, or Peruvian lily, but white astralmeria flowers and red roses. And so that was our wedding. And then we went back by bus, or by, I forget how, back to the Dearborn Inn, where we had dessert and dancing, and they made the introduction, Mr. and Mrs. Robert and Amy Nasir, and there that was. So, then we went to Jamaica the next morning. It was a real whirlwind. We should have had an extra day in between, but things that you can't undo. But it was all right. It was really lovely. And yeah, that was 25 years ago.
25 years ago on the 25th.
Yes.
It's going to be a good day in 2 days.
And I got to say, the Dearborn Inn is still there. It's been renovated for better or for worse, but that's still there. Obviously, the Martha Mary Chapel in Greenfield Village is still there. And we visited often. We just visited it last week, actually, and got another photo of us on the altar stage area. And by the way, the Martha Mary Chapel is a non-denominational chapel. So, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist or not, or what religious affiliation you are. But
ironically, it's non-denominational, and so am I.
So it fits perfectly.
Yeah. Well, I have been ordained by the Universal Life Church, and I will be performing a wedding next month.
Question is, you are going to be an officiant at a wedding, or a minister.
A minister. My title is minister.
Objectivist minister, Robert Nasir.
And Lincoln says, wait, was Robert married before? No, I was not. And I've been asked before, wait, if you weren't married, how did you have a daughter? Which is a question that always startles me a little bit, or makes me think people don't fully appreciate human biology. But the answer to your question is yes. Ian agrees with the High Society being a great film, and the duet is fire, he says.
All right.
And Christopher Smith points out that Louis Armstrong is in the film.
Oh, okay.
So is Grace Kelly. I mean, I don't know how we haven't seen that film yet.
I don't know.
So, yeah, that will be one worth seeing. Yeah. I hope Dad got pizza and beer. There was pizza. I don't know if there was beer. I did not have any of it, but the point is, yes, my daughter did feed anybody who wanted to be fed. There were donuts, too, and other things.
Oh, not at the wedding, but at the moving party.
There was not pizza, and Dad didn't get pizza and beer at the wedding, no. Although there was beer. We had a full bar.
Yeah.
And there was not pizza, but there was an amazing dessert.
Oh, the dessert
counter
was, I don't know, like...
And it was crazy. What did we have, like 50 people at the wedding, and there was enough dessert there for 500. I don't even understand how they decided to have that much stuff. Maybe they're used to bigger weddings and they weren't really geared up to...
No, I mean, it was like a counter, a side counter that was like 10 feet long.
Yeah.
And
it was
here's a nice...
outrageous.
Oh, and okay, another thing that we did not do is that when Robert and I cut the cake.
Yes.
If you remember that, we were insistent that we did not want to like shove cake into each other's mouths.
We were playful, but we were not ridiculous.
Yeah, we were not ridiculous.
Yes. We did not do...
We kept our dignity. And I didn't like throw a garter, and there was no tossing of the bouquet.
There was no tossing of the bouquet?
Yeah. Nope.
I didn't remember that.
I kept my bouquet.
So did we do the chicken dance?
No chicken dance.
No chicken dance?
No, we came out.
What did we even do?
Well, we did the introduction. Oh, and by the way, just as an aside, there was no DJ. What we did was we had this really high-tech CD carousel machine, and we had 5 different CDs in this, and we basically put all of our music on these CDs in the order that we wanted it, and you had like the little remote control trigger to
nowadays that would just be a playlist on some computer.
It's a playlist.
It's a little hard to do in 2000.
So it was.
Yeah, we were our own DJ.
Yeah, we didn't have a DJ. We were our own DJ. So we went out. We went out and we did the first dance, and that was "Little Brown Jug," which is an actual song from the 40s. And we did this choreographed East Coast swing, and we did that. And I think you danced with Diana and your mom, and I don't think I danced with anybody else, actually.
No.
I don't think so, because I had my mom there, but again,
No father.
I dropped from the sky,
Yeah.
so I didn't have any family.
Yeah.
And you had all of your family there, and that was interesting.
Yeah, and there were other things we did. I just can't remember them all. One of them was I have a family tradition in my family. I have
Yeah.
multiple siblings, and we have a big family. And one of the traditions is every time one of us gets married, the song Sunrise Sunset is played at the wedding.
Yeah, that's from the Fiddler on the Roof.
And Fiddler on the Roof. And the reason is because it is how my mother feels when one of the children are married and moves on. I don't like that song. I find it depressing. And my first reaction was, I will be the first in the family not to play that. But I compromised. We arranged for there to be a piano, a grand piano, as it turned out, at the reception. And I played it on piano and everybody sang it. And it was less depressing to hear everybody sing versus playing the recording of, I mean, Topol is great and it's a great movie. It's just kind of sad for a wedding for me. And that's just not my bag. So yeah, we did a sing along.
You played piano.
Yeah.
And that was nice. And then we passed out all the lyrics to this really morbid funereal song for our wedding.
It didn't sound morbid and funereal.
No. I would say this. We pepped it up. We pepped it up with our singing.
Yeah.
And I think you made it a little bit faster. And your mother really appreciated it. And I'm glad that we could do that for your mom. And it was sort of like for my mom too. Because my mom, I may have mentioned this before, she was always obsessed with anything Jewish. So I think that worked.
It worked.
And even though neither of our moms were Jewish, which is funny. Okay. And so during the dinner hour, before we changed into our wedding attire, we actually had a pianist, a lady piano player, who played lovely dinner music while we were eating. And then when we went to the chapel, she went up to the organ in the balcony of the Martha Mary Chapel. And
oh, that's right.
Yeah, and she played, I don't know, whatever it was. I forget. I don't know,
I'm sure I could have played
or something.
Well, yeah, the
yeah.
Handel and the
walking down the aisle music,
and
all that. Yeah, she did not. I made sure she was not playing "Here Comes the Bride" because that was just obnoxious. So we didn't do that. We did.
We were
something
real
else.
short on cliches.
Yeah, we tried to be as original as possible in our wedding because I guess it was an art installation and a wedding. So just looking back at it, I'm like, what did we do? That whole day was crazy. That was probably the most intricately planned, and I mean, outside of GlowCon.
The only regret was that, Amy, you took on too much of it yourself.
Yes, I did. I didn't
We didn't
delegate.
really know anybody we could offload it to and have it happen the way you wanted, but it was still a little tough having to make sure everything happened yourself.
Yes. But I'm proud of what I did, and I'm really happy it turned out so great. It was really lovely. And then so the music, and then after that, the music was from the CD player. And you provided the one song and piano.
Yes.
And we stayed up. I think we were there until like 2 a.m. and we were cleaning up because why delegate, right? And and then we had a few hours of sleep before we went to Jamaica, actually, right after that in the morning. The best part of Jamaica, and I just want to say this, if you ever go, and this is something we would look into it if we ever went, but when we got there, unfortunately, we had to take a bus to Ocho Rios. And that was terrible. That was a disaster. That was horrible. But on the way back, after we got done with the resort and we had to go back home, we took a 4-seater plane, like a Cessna or whatever it was, a small plane. And they were able to fly us in this tiny plane to the airport to go back home. So I will never forget that trip on that plane. It was so much fun. It was so thrilling. And yeah. Yes, Jamaica is hurting right now. So that's one of the things that they were talking about at the English Bee concert. And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because they're what do they call him? Their toaster.
Yeah, Anthony First Class.
Anthony First Class. Look him up. He's great fun.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So, since we're running late, stepping all over Dan Newton's podcast time.
For good cause. It's about our anniversary.
I know we've been very personal and a little haphazard and reckless, but I have four points to make before we wrap up. One of them is, and I've written them on Post-it notes here as notes. One of them is, I've always said the secret to happiness is pretty girls. And this is a great weekend for me because I'm helping my pretty girl, my daughter, move into her new house. I spoke to my mother. I have 3 pretty girls who are at the top of the list. I've had many pretty girls in my life, but I spoke to my mother earlier this week. There's a marriage going on, another wedding going on down in Florida that we had to miss because of this moving and all these things going on. But congratulations to Kay and Gregory down in Florida. And then my wife. The secret to happiness is pretty girls. And I've been very fortunate in that regard. I've been able to make that happen. My top 3 values. This could be a Post-it note of the week. Top 3 values. Know what your top 3 values are and make sure you're actually achieving, attaining, moving toward them in your life. Well, my top 3 values were information technology, and I spent decades doing information technology work as an IT professional. Music. Okay, music, amateur musician. Well, I've been on stage, so semi-pro musician. And romance. Well, this weekend's been all about that because when my daughter put up her desk she works in a home office, she couldn't get her monitors to work right. Turns out they're using DisplayPort pass-through ports. And it was a matter of getting them configured with the ins and the outs right, which I did because I'm an IT professional. While we were moving boxes and as y'all have mentioned in the chat, back-breaking work, I was singing. I was using music as a way to take something difficult and make it fun, as Mary Poppins would recommend that we do. That's your spoonful of sugar right there. And my 3rd top value, well, I came home to Amy. So know what your top 3 values are. Make sure that you are living them. I have a Post-it note here that says, see high society. And that's just to remind me after the show. It's funny because y'all give us great recommendations. And sometimes I remember to write them down, and we see these films and these TV shows, and it's great. Sometimes I forget to write them down. And we will have a long day, and we'll make dinner, and it'll be that kind of day where you don't just want to eat real quick and go get something else done. You just want to sit down and watch some television. And like, what do you want to watch? I can't remember what we had on our list because we didn't write it down. It's not actually on a list. So do see High Society. I've got it written down here so that we remember that. And last but not least, I just want to reiterate what I've said before. Marriage rules. There is this idea out there right now that some young people have that marriage is a thing of the past. Some people still get married, but rates are declining. As soon as rates decline a few percent, people think that's a big deal. That really means something. It's like when the average age of first home ownership went up. They recently said it went up from 33 to 37. I also saw 34 to 37, so it depends on whether you're talking 10 years or 20 years or whatever. That's not that big a difference. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not great. It's not a good thing. It's not a good trend, but it's not like, well, if it keeps up like this, no one will. That's just not the way that works. And the same thing with the decline in marriage rates. People are still getting married. In my life, they're getting married left and right. There are weddings that I'm officiating and weddings that I've been attending. There's one this weekend that I couldn't attend. I had to miss. People are getting married all over the place. It's just when you see, oh, yeah, but it's 10% lower than it was in the 80s. Yeah, that's sad, and hopefully that will turn around. But no, marriage still rules. And if you can, make a marriage last, that is something to be happy about, something to be proud of. If you can find someone to marry, that is a wonderful thing. And we send all the love your way. We are happy for you. If you are not married and you are finding it difficult to make time for romance or to bring romance into your life, we wish you success with that. And we hope that you will at least do the best you can. The couple that are getting married next month, the ones for whom I am officiating the wedding, they met online. And they're like people my age. So these are not, kids who, all the kids go to match.com or whatever. And no, these are older people. And not like technophiles. They're not quite technophobes, but these are not people who spend a lot of time on a computer. And they did this just to see, just on the off chance. And it worked out. So I encourage you all to find romance, spend more time with pretty girls in your lives. Or if you are a pretty girl, well, then still have friends, girlfriends, and see high society. Because we haven't seen it yet. Excuse me. Well, I hit the cough button here and say something.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to say something now that Robert's coughing. Yeah, Ian, Ian mentioned, I think, the comic strip presents Bad News, and that has Rick Mail in it.
Really?
And I don't know if we've ever seen that. I think you recommended this before, and then we're like, yeah, we should watch this, but then we never did.
Is that a film or a TV show?
It's a mockumentary.
Yeah.
It's a film.
Bad News with Rick Mail.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for mentioning that or mentioning it again, and it is now
Yes.
on our list.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say one thing about Robert. He really likes women, like not in a creepy way. No, he likes the company of women. We have we have a friend who lives with a lot of females around him, and he gets kind of lonesome for being with the bros or whatever, however you put that. But Robert, you never do.
No, I like women. I always quote somebody, and I have not actually been able to find it, so it might be me who said this originally, but I swear I read it when I was a teenager or something. Somebody once said, or I once said, you can't love women. You cannot love a woman. You cannot love a woman without loving women, without loving what women are, without loving all women somewhat. Every time I said that, somebody says, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, there are some women that you're not going to love, but the point stands that you cannot love any woman completely without loving all women somewhat. And it might be overstated, but I think it makes the point.
It's Robert Heinlein, and the quote
That is Heinlein, okay.
It is impossible for a man to love his wife wholeheartedly without loving all women somewhat.
There you go. It was Heinlein. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. Good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I believe it's true. I absolutely believe that you can't love a thing without loving what it is. Well, people aren't things. So if you love a person, well, I think the point is clear.
Well, knowing you often see a lot of good in people in general, and
That's
so
true.
that goes along that same track.
And I see a lot of bad in people, but I care about the good. The good matters. The bad only matters if it is going to have some impact on you. Or if it's especially disheartening. But when it comes to mixtures, yeah, I care more about the good than I do the bad. That's true.
Yep.
I think everybody should, because you live your life for values. You don't live your whole life to fight disvalues. You got to do a little bit of that.
And as I said when I was 4 years old to my mom, very seriously, I said, Mom, I like men better than I like women. And it still holds true for me, pretty much. Although I've been reaching out to more women and having more women friends. Thank you, Jennifer. Recently in my life, which I'm very, very happy for. But men, I mean, just in general, to me, are more interesting. And yeah.
Yes. Ian says, Heinlein said a lot of true-sounding things that are not actually true. No, you're right about that. And the solution to that, obviously, is first-hand thought, to be discriminating. He also gives us a more up-to-date counterexample in mentioning Candace Owens. Candace Owens, I guess that works. Candace Owens does not have the shrieking harpy quality that Hillary Clinton has. Candace Owens, yeah, she's cringe and she's terrible, and yeah, well, I guess if you think I love all women, what about Candace Owens? It just doesn't have the same effect.
I mean, in terms of the primacy of values, that's the context we're talking about. We're not saying, oh, let's find this horrendously immoral woman and say, what do you like about her?
Well, I think Ian gets that, but in providing us a more up-to-date example.
Candace Owens.
Yeah, Candace, she doesn't have the, Lincoln Gaffney says AOC. AOC would be a good example, except AOC is actually kind of charming if you ignore her politics completely. Whereas Candace Owens is just cringe. She's just like creepy. But again, it may be my media exposure. Maybe I'm seeing Candace Owens in that way because of how I see her, the video clips and whatever I've seen of her. And, AOC's like Mom Donnie. He's got great charm. And I don't just mean charm as in he's very sly and he knows how to win people over. He is genuinely genial.
So this is another example of politics is not actually real life. It's not real life.
Yeah, so there's that. I don't mean to discount the fact that these are terrible people who want to destroy everything around them, which incidentally is an exaggeration, but yeah. Lincoln says, I'd love to have an illegal drink with AOC, not getting close to Owens. Well, there you go. There's the difference, whatever that means. So, folks, thank you for joining us for an unusually long episode, given how little prep work I had time to do this time around. My daughter is now in her new house with the 2 cats in the yard.
And the dog.
Used to be so hard. And the dog, whose name is Bliss.
Yeah.
It's an unusual name for a dog, but there you go. And so all is well. All is well at Camp Nasir. Yes. All is well here in Studio Nasir.
Oh, and by the way, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, even if you're in the UK or Canada. Tough luck. Happy Thanksgiving anyway, even though it was...
We would usually do an attitude. We would usually do a episode on gratitude before Thanksgiving. But if you were looking for that, just watch one of our Thanksgiving episodes from previous years. We have a lot to say about gratitude, and it ties in very directly with the fact that values are primary and disvalues are secondary or derivative, not even secondary. So there you go. Bliss puppy with 2 cats. Yes, absolutely. Bliss is a very sweet dog, but he's one of those high energy dogs. So he quickly is too much after a while, but no, a very sweet dog. And if he didn't live with 2 cats, I probably wouldn't be allergic to him. So I'm not very allergic to the dog. Very sweet. And that is it. I think that's all that we've got to say. Again, see high society. Go out and get married if you're not already. Well, that's probably easier said than done. Spend more time with pretty girls, whether they are just friends or family or related to that marriage thing. And figure out what your top 3 values are. Make sure that you are living them. I'm sure you are. If you have watched this show this long for this 5 times, what do we got this time? 5 times 18 minutes? 17 minutes. 5 times 17, I guess it's 17 times 5 minutes is the way that I should say that. And that's it. We're going to let you go. You can go watch Dan Newton, see what he's talking about tonight. Maybe I'll do that too, although I got to make myself something to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, moving people into a new house is hard.
Yes.
But this week, celebrating our 25th anniversary is going to be easy, or at least very, very good. Oh, Edmund chimed in at the last minute here. Do not feel sorry for the members of Congress who are outraged that the previous administration spied on them. Oh, okay. He's got a long about the Patriot Act and FISA and read that in the Facebook chat, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to end with that, but I will point it out to you so you can read it. What I'm going to end with is we would like to thank you for being here. And I especially want to thank this week our patrons, those of you who have gone to patreon.com/Robert Nasir and have put a few dollars in. A few dollars a month to support what we do, keep us going, keep us encouraged. Thank you for that. If you don't have a budget for that, yeah, I bet you do. No, if you don't have a budget for that, do please like the show on YouTube. Consider sharing the show with people who will be impressed by your fine discerning taste in podcasts. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We did recently get to the 500 subscribers point. We're a little above that now, but we got to keep pushing because, some people go by the wayside after a while or for whatever reason, unsubscribe, stop using YouTube, whatever it is. So please, if you're not subscribed, do that. And finally, I think all that's left is for us to wish you all of the success that you so richly deserve. We know you are flourishing out there. That's why you found the time to hang out with us on a Sunday night. And we do appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. We hope you find all of the money and all of the romance and all of the fun and comfort and food and art and sports and good things in your life. What did I leave out? Oh, yeah. We wish you love.